And we are live. You know what's really funny?
What's up?
So our esteemed channel manager, Mrs. Evil, she was like, "You guys haven't done a podcast since April." And then I forgot that we did do a podcast.
But it got taken down.
But we had to take it down ourselves and put it on Patreon.
Nice.
Like, we couldn't let it stand. I was like, yeah, we're definitely getting a community guideline strike for this.
Yeah, no, it was a little too spicy. A little bit too spicy.
Yeah, a little bit too spicy.
So, I mean...
But we're here, man. And the thing is, you're here in studio. I mean, you're always in studio. You're just in your studio.
In my studio. I mean, it's good, man. It's good to be here. Good to, we've had some fun.
Yeah.
Went to a ball game.
Yep.
Saw the Mets win.
Yep.
I mean...
Something they haven't done since.
I mean, I'm the good luck charm until I leave.
Yeah, I guess.
So...
Yeah, can't hate that. So welcome to episode 77 of the Talk Shit Podcast. Today, we're going to start off talking about this whole thing with John Morant. We planned to do this show before, but we've had like a bunch of different technical and life issues.
Yeah.
And so we kind of didn't like really get there. But hey, Carbon's here.
What's going on, Carbon, man?
What up, man?
Good to see you, bro.
Yeah. And we're this is like the first time we've done like a podcast on a Sunday. I think so. Yeah. Oh shit. We're holy as fuck. But anyway, so let me give you guys a little bit of background on our coverage of this particular subject. JL, we'll get to that later. As a matter of fact, we'll come back to your comment later.
Let's start.
JL. Yeah. We'll come back to this comment later. We'll talk about that later. So we had actually a little bit of a contentious interaction. You were doing the hockey live stream.
Yeah.
And you were getting mad because I was seeing shit before you saw shit.
Absolutely.
Because I had
you got like a 30-second fucking advantage. You're like, oh, yo, bro, the game's over. The game's over.
Yeah. I'm like, but I paid for the advantage. I got cable.
I don't give a fuck. I streamed that shit. I don't give a fuck.
So, but during that stream, the whole John Morant thing had come out again, and another time, he's on social media, and he's got the guns are visible, and all of that, and when I looked at the timing of it, I looked at his previous behavior. I was all right. So let's go back to the beginning because JL is up in Canada, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
They don't have news up there.
They only have the Calgary Flames. Up there.
Yeah.
Okay. So John Morant is an all-NBA talent playing for the Memphis Grizzlies, formerly the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yep, so you should know this. You should know this.
Okay. And John Morant is a third-year NBA player who has ascended to pretty much the top level. He's a small guy, but he is very explosive, very intelligent on the court.
On the court. Keyword court.
Very explosive on the court. Can shoot, can drive, can finish at the rim. High above the rim, and he's kind of very short below the rim.
He's an athletic player that has an explosiveness to his game, and he's phenomenally talented. Yeah. I mean, no denying that. Being a player.
Yeah. But he ended up not making the All-NBA this year because of the first I'm showing a gun on social media post. Now, it was determined that what he did was not illegal, so no charges were ever filed. But John Morant is a guy who seems like he wants to kind of ingratiate himself to thug hood culture when he's not.
He never lived that life, bro. You went to private school. Your real name is Clarence. Parents had a really nice marriage. like what's good? Stop lying. You're not that guy, bro. You've never been in the streets.
You're not that guy. No, you're not that guy.
You're not that guy, bro. You're not that guy. I'm all set.
And the thing is, I can somewhat identify with John Morant's thinking in that when you don't grow up exactly as fucked up as the people that share your reflection, and the thing is, you want to
fit in.
You're right. You want to fit into that, right? Yeah. So he didn't have. I mean, his father is not the strongest male role model
He's
ever.
a bitch.
But we got to give him this. He actually did get his son. He kept his son out of trouble all the way up until he got a multi-million-dollar contract. At some point, the kid's got to take over for his own self and make good decisions on his own.
See, but I would say it wouldn't be all on the father if his father wasn't fucking laughing, joking around, dancing with these fucking dudes.
Yeah.
Kind of celebrating that lifestyle. Like, let's be very honest here. Like, I agree with you. It is all on Ja. But having daddy there as a best friend and not be the father, I mean, that's why we're seeing him do this foolishness, if I'm being honest with you.
Right. And that was really like the basis of the point that you were making. And I did not disagree until the second video comes out. And I looked at the video. You know, you were just like, this dude is stupid. You know, he's going to cost himself millions of dollars. I saw it way differently. As somebody who has dealt with very severe depression. And so I looked at the timeline of what happened with Ja with the second video.
Right.
And it was like the same day or the day after he found out that his contract would have $39 million less in it because his antics kept him from being named to any of the 3 All-NBA teams, which means that he cannot get the Supermax deal, which took $39 million right off the top of his contract. Just like that. You guys in the comment section, drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever lost $39 million. Right? Yeah. So when I look at that and then I say, well, for a normal person who's functioning, they're probably not on social media with the gun in the first place. But let's say you already made the mistake, right? And you understand that this mistake cost you $39 million.
Yeah.
The rational person would just be like, damn, I'm never doing that shit again. Because at least I have my other $190 million.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the word the rational human being does, yes.
Right. Which is the basis of my position.
Yeah.
Which is I think it's very easy to just look at it and say, well, this is stupid. Well, we're in our rational brain. We look at it and it's like, yeah, right? But as a person who has lived outside of his rational brain to the point of wanting to take myself off the census on many more than one occasion in the past, starting, I think the first time I had problems with suicidal ideation, I was, I think, 7 years old. 6 or 7 years old. Okay. Right? So obviously, you're not going to be like crazy rational to kind of forego your own.
When you're going through that, and you're not when you're thinking having those type of thoughts, you're not really.
Yeah, you're not there. So when I saw the timing of this, I said, he is a candidate for self-termination. And I said it to you on the stream, and you're like, oh, you're just making excuses for him and all this stuff.
Well, I think we're actually having more of a drawn out conversation now instead of. Well, I think he probably did battle with some depression and stuff like that. I don't think all of these actions were due to depression leading up to it. I think I think he caused his own depression, right? So these actions of like him dancing with a gun, and like for me, I own a firearm. You do as well.
Well, I don't. Well, this is New York City.
Oh, that's right. You can't.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I like to shoot guns.
Shoot guns.
And I do plan to get
a permit.
Well, the permit that I've seen to this point is for you to be able to have it in your home, but you're not allowed to leave your house with it, which is insane to me.
So then, how do you go train?
Well, yeah, exactly, right. So. What I would want is a concealed carry permit. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's a task.
If I can get a Glock 27 chambered in 10 millimeter, I'd be very happy with that.
You can stop bears with that shit. But talking about I think he caused his own depression for me personally, because he does all these actions and then he's like, oh shit, this is what you reap what you sow, and then he's sad about it.
Right.
And I mean, I can empathize to an extent. But, and this is why I feel like he needs a father. Because, quite
frankly... Papa Thunder?
Yeah, he needs Papa Thunder. He needs Papa Daddy. And be like, listen, son, yeah, it sucks. You fucked up and all that shit, right? I know it technically wasn't illegal, but let's be honest, dancing with a gun on stuff, that just that does
And it also,
perpetuate a certain type of image, right?
Right, and it also attracts a certain kind of attention towards you that
exactly, and that's that's why a lot of like older rappers who stuck around don't wear chains and shit like that out, or celebrities they don't wear any jewelry anymore because it's like that you create yourself.
That's a poor man's mentality anyway. Like when you look at a lot of rappers when they first come into the industry, they're always wearing that chain stuff. But then when you look at the legends who've made tens, hundreds, or in the case of Jay-Z, over $1 billion, you don't see them wearing the jewelry anymore.
No, because it's exactly. It's more.
Or if they do, it's like real discreet.
Yeah, but it's more for flash, if
right.
anything.
And John Morant just starting his career, so he still kind of has that poor hood man's mentality, even though he was not poor and he didn't grow up in the hood.
No, but I guess that's where a lot of this kind of comes from. It would be a little bit more understanding if he was like Allen Iverson upbringing, or if he had like some of these guys that really truly struggled. And maybe he did face struggles in life. I'm not trying to say his life was a fucking cakewalk, but dog, you went to a private school, you had mom and daddy. Cakewalk. I mean, for all intents and purposes, like your life was good. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I was trying to be nice. But but his real name is Clarence.
This is a talking shit podcast. Fuck that.
He's soft as baby shit. Let's be real.
And I think that's why he tries so hard to come off hard. But here's the thing, man. I told you on the stream, I say he is a candidate for self-termination, and you were like,
I don't think so. Yeah.
But it just so happens that maybe a week or so after we had that debate, because we were on your stream, the police were called to conduct a welfare check. So I'm gonna show you guys really quickly if I can find.
You might have to move it over.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
Yeah,
this is bullshit. I don't like this. This is unfair. Oh shit! No, I can't even do that.
You know what it is? Hold on, let me see. I'll fix it.
I'll just do this because
I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if is he done? Like
doing stupid shit? Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he done doing this dumb shit? Because he's pretty much his own worst enemy. If I'm being honest with you, right now.
But I think that we are well past that kind of. I think that we're well past the whole. When we look at this whole thing, right? When we look at this whole thing here, and I think it's really important. And it's funny because I have a really close friend that when this came out, he hit me on the text when this came out. He said, "Yo, I think you were onto something." Right, he might even be watching right now, but he's a lurker.
Yeah.
But let's get into this. This is dated May 24th. Police in Tennessee conducted a welfare check on Memphis Grizzlies star John Morant, following cryptic messages on his Narstagram account Wednesday, with officials telling ESPN that he is, quote, taking a break from social media, end quote. Early Wednesday, Morant posted, then deleted, messages and pictures to social media saying, "Love you, ma. Love you, pops." And, "You the greatest, baby girl. Love you." Then followed those with a post that simply said, "Bye." So, when you look at these words that are left up there, right? Obviously, people have seen enough young men voluntarily go to the grave.
Yeah.
And they can kind of see what the signs are. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't care what anybody says. This made my heart drop like into my left ankle when I saw this. Yeah, because this is I've lived this thought process.
Yeah.
And it's not a great thought process to be under the dark cloud of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is that a lot of people think about, and that's when they talk about the difference between self-termination and the ideation. It's something that some people struggle with for a long period of time. You and I, we talked about the whole Sneeko thing, right? Yeah. And, Sneeko was having a lot of issues.
Yes, he was.
And one of the things that we talked about when we looked at that situation is that not only is it very difficult for somebody to take all of that positive attention that he got. Over 1 million subscribers as a young man, the whole thing.
Correct.
But then when they're playing your content out of context in front of a Senate committee.
Yeah. The world's against you.
Right. And then the thing is, I don't think that we are designed to take that much love. And I also think that we're even less equipped to take that much hate.
I actually would agree with that. I think when you get that much love and, people really do care about you, you kind of put yourself up on this.
Or the appearance that people care about you. If you're John Morant or if you're Sneeko and you've got all of these millions of fans or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, fans is short for fanatic.
Right, correct.
Right? So you get like these sycophants, because that's really what they amount to.
True.
And then you get all of this hate and criticism. Now, the thing is, when you're looking at John Morant in particular,
correct.
He's been told his entire life how great he is, has heard nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it gave him the confidence to be as great as he is. I mean, he's not a big guy. I'm taller than John Morant.
Are you?
Yeah. John Morant is under 6'3".
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'3".
Fuck. Okay. Now it makes me feel less short. So, but I mean, I think I thought he was taller than that.
No, I think he's like 6'1" or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but the thing, the guy skies, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like I thought he was a little bit taller than that. But
yeah, like the thing is that you only have the kind of you only get the kind of confidence from thinking that you're the best, and a lot of it comes from everybody else telling you how great you are all the time.
True.
And then now you've got everybody, you got people in Black America calling you, and it's usually the more productive Black people who are now saying, John Morant, you're a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got a lot, now you've also kind of gotten on the wrong side of some white folk.
I mean, but I'll be honest with you, Shannon Sharp was very harsh.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Very, very harsh on John
That's what I'm saying. Like, the most productive, well-to-do Black guys are not like, oh, yeah, my nigga. They're not doing that. They're like, yo, you're a fucking idiot. You're a clown. You're supposed to be a role model, which I don't believe. I don't believe in athletes being role models beyond what they do on the court.
I'll be honest with you. I'm with Charles Barkley on that shit. Like, yeah, you're not a role model. Like, if you're looking for these athletes as a role model,
you're losing the battle.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always agree with Chuck. Seditious asked, did Captain Paul get a new green screen? Yes. I am here through the digital age. Yep.
Yeah. What are we're using Chat GPT?
Yeah, Chat GPT. I don't even exist, dude.
Yeah.
See, he can just make up white people in his mind.
Yeah, like Eminem. He said, "How the fuck can I be white? I don't even exist. I can get a clean shave, bathe, go to a rave, die from an overdose, and dig myself up out of my grave. My middle finger won't go down. How do I wave?" And this is how you're supposed to teach kids how to behave, right? It just works, right? That worked, right? That worked.
That was good.
Yeah, so, I mean, I just think that's a lot of pressure. It's also a lot of money, too. And here's another thing, right? John Morant may not have, come up from where I came up from.
Right.
But the dude's access and level of wealth far outstrips anything he ever could wildly dream of. Which is why, he got a Rolls Royce Cullinan and some big jewelry and a big house. He doesn't know even what to do with all that money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, baby.
Again, but that's not the point. The point is that it's a lot to put on a kid to lead an NBA franchise.
Yep.
He's
only 23.
Age 23, you're supposed to be leading. You got veterans who've been in the league 10, 12 years that are looking to you to lead them. Yeah. And you're the young guy coming in. And you're smaller than everybody on your team.
And this is the one thing I'll say is I probably overlooked, right? Because I probably thought John Morant was a little bit older. But I'm thinking of it in my head now, like 23 years old, that amount of pressure. That's a lot, man.
And then
that's a lot. That's a lot.
And then you make a mistake. And then you might be thinking to yourself, well, fuck it. I already lost $39 million. I might as well do what I want.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get suspended from off-season activities by the team. And now you might think, whoa, I might actually lose more money than just the $39 million?
I like what Sishel says. I think this is what we're kind of both saying. I think it's a mixture of both. You might have to put it up on the screen. I do think it's a mixture of both. I think it's a mixture of being undisciplined and being depressed. Because his undisciplined behavior got him to the point where he made himself depressed. Now, as you know, I'm pro Second Amendment, right? I'm fine with people having firearms legally. I just think you got to do it in a safe manner because when you perpetuate a certain type of gun culture, it's not good.
Well, now we start getting into the racial component of that because how many times have we seen white families, pose for pictures
And I say the
with
same
guns,
thing.
with young
And I say
kids, but America doesn't look at those photos the same way.
Maybe it's because where I'm from, we look at it kind of like in a negative light. But I think, like, quite frankly, like when you're posing your 4 or 5-year-old with guns as a family photo, like you're fucking insane. You're fucking not in your right brain. I don't think, I'm all for the Second Amendment, but let's be really fucking clear here. Those are dangerous tools, and you're putting those in the arm. And obviously they're probably unloaded and stuff like that. But how many times have we seen stories? Right? You give I'm gonna give my little kid a fully loaded fucking Uzi.
I know he was gonna go there.
Like, come the fuck on.
The fucking recoil made the muzzle go right up into the face of her father and blew his fucking face off.
And who's fucking scarred for the rest of their life?
Yep.
The fucking kid. And then they're gonna go, this is my fault.
She could be on OnlyFans now. That happened over 20 years ago.
Jesus Christ. I hope not. But I think...
That happened over 20 years ago.
Did it?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Time flies.
Yeah, no. We're getting old, man.
But, no, I just think that shit's fucking wild. And, we've seen other incidents on the range where people don't take it seriously. And that's where, like, me is a big safety component. That was a hunting accident.
Or was it?
He thought he was a deer.
Okay.
It's like, maybe I can become president now.
I don't know. But the thing is, and I told you, man. I told you the self-sabotage due to depression. That was really what I was focused on because, I think a lot of the time, and I think part of your irritation with all of this is like, you know what I could do with your access and money?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I'd be like, bro, I would buy franchises. I would fucking invest.
You can't buy oh wait, you're talking about like restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm about to say like, buy it at Grizzlies.
No, bro. No, because you've had certain like athletes or celebrities. They'll buy, like, I forget which rapper it was. He bought like Wingstop and like he bought multiple locations and he's like fucking set for life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
John Starks has a dealership now that in the area. So you now see his advertisements. I'm like, damn. I lived long enough to see John Starks go 2 for 18 in the finals and be the old guy selling Kias.
Oh, the worst cars. Ugh. Kias. Ugh.
I mean, he's probably working his way up to something more,
I mean, Kias are junk, but, that's just my personal...
I mean, but they do give you a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty.
Yeah, that will fail at 100,001 miles. Like, they don't build them to last. But, yeah, I think when it kind of comes down to it with Jaw is he needs to have some people in his circle that get him straight. Like,
yeah, you can't do the yes man thing. Can't do it.
Like, he's got too many yes men around him. Even his own father's the yes man. Like, I don't know if like the ma weighs the pants or some stuff, but
I think that once he made it and he started making that money, I think his father probably saw dollar signs like I'm finally going to be able to get my Halo car. I'm finally going to be able, to get all the sneakers. I'm going to be able to get all the bitches.
That's just weird, though. Like, that's a weird mentality to use your kid as a way to come up.
But parents been doing that in this country.
No, I'm not saying it's new. I'm just saying that's
I'm not going to denigrate him like he's unique.
But I denigrate all of them because they're fucking weird.
But,
I mean, like, you see what happened with the Macaulay Culkin and shit like that? And, like, weird... Or no, who the fuck was it? There were some parents that just, like, took all the financial control.
Yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah, there's been a lot of cases, and I can't think.
They did it to Britney Spears.
Britney Spears, yeah. It's just weird shit, man. It's really weird.
It's nasty. The different strokes guy, the dwarf guy.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yeah, Gary Coleman.
Yeah, Gary. Yeah. So I don't know, man. But the thing is, like, when if you're looking at it from like the money part of it, I get it, totally get that.
Yeah.
But my concern is that, do you think that people will be talking about all the money lost if we get a breaking news and they're saying rest in peace, 2000 to 2023?
No.
Do you think people are going to be talking about the money?
No.
I'm always looking past that.
Yeah.
And what I saw is somebody who was struggling and thinking, you know what? Sometimes, I remember when I was a kid, I actually had this erroneous thought that there were so many unhappy abuse victim drug addicts around me, and they were always abusing me. And I thought to myself, well, if I just didn't exist anymore, maybe they could be happy. And I started thinking of them as worth more than myself.
Yeah.
And
Negative
then, if you think about, it's not that much of a stretch to be a young man who has been dancing to the tune of praise your entire life.
Yeah.
And then it seems like everybody hates you. It seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we gotten a 95% like rating on the video,
true.
And then we have a fucking hour-long discussion about that one comment?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So imagine if you have been singing to the tune of everybody's thinks that John Morant is great, and then you're getting all of this constant people, just bearing down on you and saying how horrible of a person you are.
That's
and how
true.
bad you're leading the
That's
kids
true.
and all that other stuff, and you're 23 years old, and you're dealing with all this money you don't know what to deal with, all of these expectations. Nike is now, pulling your sneakers off the shelf.
Yep.
And you got all this stuff going on, and you're thinking, you know what? Maybe everybody will be satisfied if I'm not here. Maybe I can make this all go away if I'm not here. And I look at it from that angle, and I'm like, well, fuck all the money and all the Narcigram stuff. Can we get this kid situated with somebody that he can actually feel like he can talk to? Because maybe his father is too immature. We're talking about him being too immature. Maybe his father is too immature to provide the fucking framework for him to make mistakes in a safe manner.
But I'd argue,
and then
argue
advance past it.
John Morant has to be open to that guidance, right? You can offer it, but if he's not willing to actually genuinely listen and take what you're saying to heart, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and remember that fucking thing that they put out there, the fucking the press release that he put out there after he got in trouble the first time, and he understands his all of the responsibility, and he's gonna do better and all this weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, a PR firm put that comment together. That didn't sink down deep into his chest, but what did sink down into his chest is all the perceived hatred he was getting from all these different areas.
True.
And I just don't think. And the thing is, we're talking about, it used to be that young boys used to have the suicidal ideation. Now it's the young girls. And when they were able to figure out the timeline of the rise in suicidal ideation among females? The rise of social media. Why? Because we're not designed to have access to everybody's opinion of us.
True. I mean, it was just the human element wise, we're just not built like that. We're not built like that.
So imagine, if you're a girl hunting for 46 likes, and you show the little top of your areola to get 46 likes, right?
Yeah.
Imagine what John Morant is going through, trying to keep corporations happy, the owner of the Grizzlies happy, your money grubbing father, because he just sounds like he's just a leech at this point. It just sounds like his father.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he doesn't actually give a fuck about his son. He just cares about, like, hey, yo, can we get that Dom Perignon? Like,
yeah.
That's all we care about.
Yo, can I get that chain? Yo, can I get that Cartier watch or that Rolex?
Like, can I suck your dick? Like,
hey,
that's what it coming off like, bro. His daddy's riding it. So let's look at some of these comments here.
Yeah, let's get to the comments here. Traditionalist is pro-Darwinism. You know what? I think it's actually kind of fair in that Arizona gun range shooting.
Yeah.
The girl didn't blow her own face off at the direction of her father. The guy with the poor direction is the one that got his face blown off.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that if that is going to happen, I'd rather his head than hers, because he's the one that put her in that position.
Yeah, but I mean, who the fuck gives a young little girl?
I think she was like 7 or 8 at the time.
So stupid, bro.
I mean,
those are good kicks.
Yeah, dude, if I held an Uzi, I'd probably have to spend like 6 months like lifting heavy weight to feel confident with like strong fucking granite hands and shit to even like fire that shit semi-auto.
And if you're gonna fucking do it, just put one.
And he fucked the whole. He took it. He put it in full auto.
I know.
Fucking dumbass, man.
Yeah, I know.
JL says maybe Ja is suffering from the John Jones effect. He is so good that he needs an outlet So just like Jones, Ja is getting into legal trouble. Well, the thing is, Ja has not gotten into any legal trouble yet.
Yeah.
He does have some sort of.
Does he have some bullshit happening?
No, he has a civil suit possibly coming up against him because of some kid that he might have punched in the face on the basketball court.
Damn.
I think the NBA are milking this story because this is the most press and attention the league has gotten since the Raptors won the championship.
He's from Canada, so
wow.
no, it's not even true.
And no one gave a fuck when the Raptors won. Traditionally says it's about as weird as kids in beauty pageants. Yeah.
That is weird.
Yep. JL again. John needs a good support system. Why do people, especially us black people, want to act like thugs even if that isn't us? Is it due to people hyping it like that in music and media?
Yes, we've had that discussion.
Absolutely.
We've had that discussion, though.
But here's the thing that's really messed up. The culture has gone so far. See, the thing is, where I'm from, these guys were rapping about shit that they lived through and shit that they seen. So, like, they couldn't, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. The people where I'm coming from, they don't.
I mean, that's why certain
they don't relate to that.
That's why you see certain country rappers, they'll be singing about dealing meth and cocaine and shit.
I've never heard that. I'm not interested. But the thing is, that's the stuff that people where I'm from can relate to, so it hits harder, right? Like, I don't love the subject matter, but you seen when we were in the car on Thursday, right? Going to the game. Like, that fucking hardcore lock shit, right? Why do you think, like, I gravitated towards that when you know me, like, character-wise, that's not the way I live my life, right?
But it's shit you kind of been around.
But that's the kind of shit that I grew up listening to. That's the shit that I grew up seeing.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the worst parts of New York City during the crack epidemic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So
you can relate to it.
Right. But the thing is, it's so powerful when you mass market the experiences of people who've been in the worst kinds of situations, environments, right?
True.
And now you got guys who, again, real name Clarence.
With grade 2 parents.
Right?
Yeah.
So
2 great parents.
Yeah, when you see guys that are outside, and the thing is, Morant could have grown up in the most well-to-do middle to upper middle class white environment, but he's never going to be accepted in those circles.
No.
He's never going to be accepted in those circles. Look at what happened with O.J. Simpson when they tried to make him an honorary white man.
But O.J. did, like, kill somebody.
I know that, but the thing is, look how quick. They were just like, nope, you're not one of us.
But he killed them. Somebody.
I know, but the point is that you get these guys that want to fit in,
I'm not black,
and then they get that right.
Yeah.
And then he found out real quick.
But the sad part is people actually did from the black community definitely embraced him.
Well, they didn't embrace him; they embraced his ability to get away with murder.
Yeah.
Because how many black people have been murdered at the hands of white people over the last 450 years, and that shit was either legal or the laws were not enforced because the victim was black. I mean, look at what happened to Emmett Till.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there hasn't been atrocities.
What I'm saying is black people are like, well, if they can get away with killing us, then we got one back. But it wasn't like they were celebrating OJ. It was just like, for the black experience, well, he does kind of look like us, even though he disavowed us, and he got away with it.
It was just weird. It was just a fucking weird, like, reaction. Like, oh, yes! And I'm like,
it's a really weird...
it was the same thing when people were cheering when that cop got lit off, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I had the same, like, that's fucking weird. Like, why are you celebrating that shit? You killed somebody.
Yep. But the thing is that in some cases, they don't really look at that somebody as a somebody.
That's the sad part, right? Is that we've become so divided as human beings. Which is funny, because, like, what's the difference between us, dog? Our skin color. That's
look at my watch. Look at my watch tan.
I mean, that's it. Skin tone. But, like, listen, skin tone, skin pigment don't mean shit. We're still human beings at the heart of it. And that's the problem.
I mean, but there's two guys sitting here in front of a camera speaking rationally to our TSP family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But, the response to OJ was just ridiculous on the black side.
Yeah.
But then I would say to Derek Chauvin on
Derek Chauvin,
and George Zimmerman. Yeah, he's not. And that's the thing that kills me about Nick Fuentes. Nigga, you Mexican.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Mexican.
Fuck
he
out
says
here
he's
with
Italian.
that shit.
He's not Italian.
He's not, his father is Mexican.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking.
And white supremacists always like to use that one drop rule shit, right?
I mean, the frauds in Florida though, they showed their colors.
Oh yeah, we
Video
are. Yo! You should see the video that we got coming. Mm. For those that watch Abba and Preach videos, we got like something for you. Yeah. We got something for you. JL goes on to say, John can't make excuses. He screwed up as an adult. He should know the consequences to his actions. And you know, this is a rational take. But if you're a person that is considering taking yourself off this earth, none of that shit matters. Yeah. And we need to kind of get that under control first and then try to teach him the lessons. If he doesn't want to live anymore, the lessons that you are trying to impart to him are moot.
Yeah, they won't stick.
A seditionalist says, regardless of race, kids want to grow up to be the thugs they see in media. That is true, because if you look at how people look at The Godfather,
yeah.
When you look at how they, the Teflon Don, you know, the whole Gambino crime family thing.
Yeah.
Like, people have been romanticizing the mob and gangster culture long before hip-hop.
True.
Long before hip-hop. So that's a really good point you make.
But I would even argue, though, in those movies, you'd still have people kind of, like, gravitate towards that life. I feel like overall as a society, not even just because of hip-hop and stuff like that, we've had more violence in our media more than ever. And I think it's a trickle-down effect over the generations and why there's such a rise in kind of, I would say, mental instability when it comes to like living that type of lifestyle. You know,
some mental health professionals say that there is no link. I just think that the link is so it's such a no-brainer, like the logical connection. You can't say that you just show images of violence to everybody every day, all day, and it's not going to affect them in some way, either making them think that resorting to violence is either more acceptable or becoming desensitized to the violence when it does hit you, like with all the mass
especially at their developmental age.
I think we're all still developing, Cap.
But I mean,
I can feel myself regressing as a human being every time there's a mass shooting, and I don't react with the same horror every time.
But I think it's more impactful when it happens with younger audience, like, because even with younger people, and you're kind of I would say introducing them to that type of violent media, it makes them desensitized more than ever. I think that's why you're seeing such I think that's why you see such fucking violence throughout different areas in the country, in the United States, because it's just they're desensitized to the shit.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on this, right? When I see a shooting now, I'm just like, oh shit, another one?
Yep.
And you get desensitized.
And now you're just trying to figure out how many people were injured and how many people lost their life.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, you know, OPS and on base percentage and, you know, slugging plus on base percentage.
Yeah.
And now we just look at them as numbers on a sheet now because it's just so pervasive. I can feel myself becoming number to it. You know what I thought of, JL, when you put this comment up here? Y'all could just stay off of social media. It's not that hard to not act like a clown online. For one, he doesn't think that he's acting like a clown online. He thinking that he is being down with his people. And here's one of the things I thought about. There's a really interesting ebook. I'm going to recommend that you listen to it. An audiobook called The Mind Body Code, right? By Dr. Martinez. This guy basically kind of helps you to understand how the neurological symptoms, the neurological systems in your brain are affected by internal and external stimuli, emotional things, physical things, and the different parts of your nervous system that are invoked under certain circumstances. And in one of the chapters, he talks about why lottery winners go broke. And so many of those people have a tough time believing that they deserve to have that kind of abundance because everybody around them does not. And so people end up doing things to sabotage that abundance because they feel guilty about having it in the first place. You think about all the money problems you have, so that's why you buy the lottery ticket. But if you match all 6 numbers and then you end up winning a $2 billion jackpot, you walking out of there with $850 million after all the taxes, and you look at the fact that there are people working hard, they don't have $850 million.
Yeah.
You just got 6 numbers on a ticket, and you see like so many of them go broke, mainly because there was actually a danger message that signal to your brain because you're someplace where you don't really feel like you belong, and you have things that you don't think that you should have. And part of that is how we're conditioned by religion, because religion tries to get you to be happy with nothing.
To an extent, I could see where you're.
So who does that help? Does it help the middle class, or does it help the rich people? Because if you have less people aspiring to become wealthy, then the wealth stays concentrated with you.
But I would have to argue when it comes to religion. I've seen a bunch of Christians or a bunch of people from different faiths be wildly wealthy.
But the thing is, they're not adhering to the message. They're just disseminating message to other people. I mean, why do you think? Remember that guy that got robbed in the church, the so-called church in Brooklyn?
Oh, yes.
The bishop, whatever, Lamar Whitehead, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And they ran up in the church and told him to get down on the ground and all of that stuff. He was wearing the Fendi suits and the Louis suits and all this other stuff. Well, how did he get that? Well, he was just in prison for fraud not that long ago. He comes out of prison, starts a church.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, but there's certain sects of Christianity, and this would be a greater conversation, but there's certain sects of Christianity that really don't follow the actual biblical teachings. But that's a whole different...
But the thing is, when you talk about the prosperity, prosperity churches, they're like, it's like that old joke, right? You write a book entitled How to Make $1 Million, right? And then you sell it for $1 million. Yeah. Somebody buys it, and now you have $1 million, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like what they do at those prosperity. You know, they'll pray for you to get rich, but you got to make sure that you tithe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So those people are not beholden. They have unbridled greed, and they're good with having that kind of greed, right?
Correct.
And those people tend to grow their money because they just want more and more and more, right? But the people who, are greedy only to a certain point, they tend to just buy everything and then be broke. And I think that's kind of like a small part of Ja's issue, is to come into such abundance. And Ja is probably not the most disciplined when it comes to his training. He's just hopping out the gym because of his natural God-given talent. Right? So he's really good at the game. He's naturally very athletic. He may not even really in his heart of hearts believe that he deserves a 9-figure contract.
But I think we're kind of making a lot of...
But I'm saying again, the self-sabotage. I'm looking into the self-sabotage, and you get into all of the possible reasons why he would self-sabotage himself. But I think, and that's something that researchers have been looking at.
I mean, that could be somewhat at play here. I think a lot of it has to do with... I'll be honest with you. I kind of question his upbringing at this point with his father.
I mean, no doubt.
Like, I question his upbringing. I also question...
How much money do you think his father is fucking grubbing off of him?
Oh, easily in the mills. Easily in the millions. Like, and that's where I think it, when it kind of comes down to it, you need a father, not a friend. And you need...
But he's not even a friend. He's a fucking parasite.
That's true.
That's
true. That's sad, but true.
Like, we had that discussion in the car on the way back from the game about like the little bit that I've been able to earn from my life.
Yeah. And
how certain of my relatives have just basically disowned me, like I give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're not adding any value to my life. I'm supposed to feel bad because you...
It's like,
fuck off, right? Like, and the thing is that when people see you doing well, they get mad.
That's true.
I've
seen that a lot in my life, yeah.
It's weird, man. It's weird. So that's kind of like the things that I that's kind of the things I look at. We're going to say hello to Xenon. How you doing?
Xenon? What's going on?
Good to see you. JL says, it's the West that has this issue. You go to Oceania, they don't have this issue at all. So what the fuck is going on here? It's our customs,
We're a little bit more...
Yeah,
self-focused.
But the thing is, like, no, the mob is not excuse. The little white people all over that that idolize the Italian mafia.
But also, it's not even just in the mob itself, right? Because you technically couldn't be a mob, like You couldn't be what's the
You couldn't be Irish. You had to be actual Italian.
No, you could be You could be an associate if you're Irish or Scottish or something.
No, but you couldn't be a made man.
No, you couldn't be a made man. That's what I'm saying.
You had to be from Sicily.
But you could have associations.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, technically he's right to a certain degree, but you'd still have crime associated with it.
Right, but that wasn't the point. The point that I was making is the fact that we romanticize gang culture.
No, but I'm agreeing with you in this aspect. That gang culture, while you can't probably be in the mob directly, you can still be associated.
No, I'm just talking about the everyday Joe's romanticization of gang culture, because we were talking about how black people romanticize it by the gun, all the guns in the videos and the scantily clad women and the jewels and the cars. And all the guns, right? But the thing is that there is a white version of that too.
No, I agree.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the regular everyday person, the romanticizing of gang violence culture was before black people got into it.
Yeah.
In fact, black people took cues from the Italians and the Jewish mobsters.
Yeah, exactly.
They took their cues from them.
No, there's actually you're right, because there's black.
Also, the Irish mob too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's black gang leaders that actually have said that on record, that they got the.
I mean, even with the rappers, right? Junior Mafia, right? Right.
That's so cool.
Everybody always tries to go back to Scarface. Like Scarface is like like the cult favorite, right? The Godfather.
Yeah.
So all the thing is that like that's one of the things that Big Pun said. They try to act like violence started. The violence was a thing before our music was even suggested.
True.
No, so you want to make it like, us in the hood, we created violence culture. It's like, no.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Xenon says, I do not think there's a direct link. Also depends on the circumstances. Good parents help kids process the more intense stuff. Need to read the mind-body code. You'll actually probably get some benefit physically from it. Obviously... Yeah, that's the thing you should do. Some filthy rich people get a chihuahua, which they'll overload. Do you remember Leona Helmsley?
Mm-mm.
She's infamous. When she died, she left her entire fortune to a dog, to her $12 million fortune.
How the fuck does that
She left it to a dog and made sure she got it in writing that her daughter and her daughter's kids get nothing.
That's fucking hilarious. So that dog must have been fucking like just chilling the good life.
It's pretty fucked up.
So who writes the will for the dog?
Yeah, I just.
That's weird.
And that dog didn't live long after Leona Helmsley, but she was just an ugly soul, really.
Why the fuck would you leave it to a dog? I mean, at least give it to.
No, because the thing is she was known as like
a bitch.
Yeah. Oh. Here in the city. Yeah.
Rest in piss?
Rest in piss.
Like,
wow.
We're
really
dogs
going
probably
there with
urinating at the fucking funeral. Like, oh, fucking.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but I just think that, I get it. A normal, rational person is going to look at what John Morant has been doing and condemn him. But for people who have been in the dark places of the mind and had trouble getting out of those dark places, we look at the existential crisis that they're going through. Because again, and we've said this before about mass shooters. Right. Well, the first thing that we need to do before we start demonizing is that we have to remind ourselves of it's an immutable fact. Happy people don't do things like that.
True. So
if you're John Morant and you've got guns and you're doing all of this weird stuff and throwing up gang signs and all of that, and you're 142 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A happy person doesn't do that kind of. Look at everybody else in the NBA. The NBA has how many players? Like 15 on the roster for 30 teams.
Yep.
Right.
Very limited spots, yeah. Very limited
No,
spots.
but the thing is, the vast majority of them are not in the news for these reasons.
No.
Right? So it's not like, oh, you're in the NBA, you make these bad decisions. Do they make bad decisions dating women? Absolutely. But
shout out to Scottie Pippen Jr. Your mom is after it, son. just getting guarded on the court, being like, "Yeah, man, I piped your mom down last night. It was loose, but it was juicy."
Yeah, she's getting back down in the paint, son.
Oh man, he's like fucking guarding Scottie Pippen Jr. Like, "Yeah, man, I just fucking like I dunked on you. I dunked on your mom last night." But I'm sorry, couldn't help myself. That's a hilarious story.
Yeah, that's really really messed up.
So,
but the thing is, the vast majority of NBA players are not, engaging
getting their
in this
mom's
kind.
pipe down. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. Just the look of like, I'm done with your stupid ass.
Yeah, a lot of guys are not in videos. If you look at all the leaders of all the teams, with the exception of Jimmy Butler, they're all, good guys. And they mind their business. And they're not flashing guns and gang signs. So I just think that we have to kind of... we have to make sure that we kind of get to the human element first. Yeah. Especially because he did not commit a crime. Right? No, let's help the dude first. And then we can talk about the negative parts of the culture, because guess what? If he ends up self-terminating, especially a person of that stature in the human consciousness, how many possible attempts do we see from young boys just off of the attempt that he makes on his own life?
Maybe. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I can see
what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I don't want to get it there. Right? I think we all know that the whole, gangster rap culture is not a positive thing. I think we can all agree on that. I think Ja Morant would agree with you on that, even though his heart has a longing to belong somewhere.
In that community.
Yeah. Especially when those people don't have that much and they consider to be tough. You came up easy. And then you want to prove to everybody that you're just like them and you want to relate to them.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, more guilt of maybe I don't deserve all of this abundance and maybe I would fit in more if I didn't have it.
That's true. I mean, I would say that.
So, yeah, I just kind of like look at those things and, it makes me feel for the guy. Like, the guy definitely needs a male therapist that is not going to be a yes man and try to make him feel good, but to kind of set his marbles in his brain in order a little bit.
Yeah.
And he could become a greater player.
I agree with that. Before we get out of here, because it's kind of getting into the later into the show. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the judges thing. Let's switch.
We're gonna get into this. Yeah. JL said, off topic, but Chris Lee gave Albazi round 4 WTF. Kai Kara-France had 27 significant strikes to Albazi's 5. Kai got a takedown and 23 seconds of control. Kai defended 2 Albazi takedown attempts, and this guy. Chris Lee is just awful, man. He's just fucking awful. I read articles. I saw the responses. For those that don't know, UFC Vegas 74 was yesterday, and in the main event, we had Kai Kara-France, who is from New Zealand, facing Amir Albazi, who is from Iraq.
Yeah.
All right. But he trains and lives in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I was rooting for Albazi to win. Mm-hmm. And Kai Kara-France, in my opinion, won rounds 1, 2, 4, and 5. Now, other people are saying they believe that Kara-France won rounds 1, 4, and 5. Mm-hmm. But the fact that a judge can give round 4 to Albazi when he literally did nothing. He did nothing.
Yeah.
Like, every single time he would go to... He was chasing Kai Kara-France around the cage. And then, when he would get close to cutting him off, he would just...
You want to know why he
And then he would take a jab. And then he would do, like, this huge looping overhand right, trying to knock him out. Hits nothing but air. Yeah. The dude made contact with his opponent 5 times. He was hit 27 times. He failed on 2 takedowns, but was taken down. and a judge gives him the round.
I mean, I'll be very honest with you, right? Frenchmen, anyone named after Frenchmen or France, they're always going to lose the war. So Albazi got that win the moment he stepped into that ring. Because that name is weak. But, I actually ended up watching the last couple rounds on YouTube.
T. Weezy says wilding out culture. We were talking about, and the previous subject. Yeah, man. But yeah, I just, obviously, Jay, you got to take anything Izzy says with a grain of salt when he is talking about anybody that trains at City Kickboxing in New Zealand, right? If Kai Kara France really did lose 48-47, Izzy would still say he got robbed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It just so happens that Izzy is right here, but you still got to take it with a grain of salt because that's his guy.
He's got a bias, yeah.
Right, he's got a bias.
Yeah.
But I rooted for Albazi, and I do not see how you can argue rounds 1, 4, and 5 for anybody other than Kai Kara France.
True.
And I gave the second round also to Kai Kara France because he was active and Albazi wasn't.
Yeah. The fights last night were pretty
crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't really sit through a lot of fights, but it must have been much more fun when we're sitting there together.
Together, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different atmosphere. Even the first fight where they just playing grab ass. Like, it was... Hey, come on, the first fight was boring as shit. They're just, like, hugging each other. Like, they were just hugging each other in the corner. It was really fucking boring. I was like, God, like, will somebody just punch each other and they're too busy, celebrating, Pride Month together? I was just disappointed, dude. I was like, come on.
Yeah,
I'm getting canceled here, but, it's just...
the thing is that once you start to, like, really understand the sport, it's very easy to get into and become a fan of.
Right.
And I'm not saying that we're gonna have Captain Paul every Saturday.
No, that'd be impossible.
But hopefully, we can get him to watch the sport more and get into it. But these judges are fucking awful, and the thing is, it's not gonna change, man. The commissions hire the judges, not the promotion. So I just. I mean, even just thinking about it now, I scored it 49-46. 10-9 Kara France, 10-9 Kara France, 9-10 going to Albazi in round 3 because he had the control time and he also threatened the submission with the rear naked choke. And no, but the thing is, it's not about wanting a fresh contender or two. It's about calling who won the fight, and it was so obvious who won the fight. It was very, very, very obvious who won the fight. Also round 4, 10-9, and I was thinking that it was possible that we could have been looking at a 10-8 round in favor of Kara France going down the stretch there, and somebody saw fit to give a 10-9 to Albazi among other rounds. I just one of the judges gave rounds 1, 2, and 3 to Albazi, which is fucking insane because from rounds 1 and 2, Kara France doubled the offensive output of Albazi.
So you think it was rigged?
I can't say rigged because the thing is, like, we've seen so much
bad
incompetent judging, especially in 2023. Like, I have not seen judging this bad ever.
I hate to ask this, but you think it might be because of the pandemic?
Well, the pandemic fights didn't have all of these bad decisions in it.
I don't know. Maybe, like, I don't know. I was just trying to think.
It's 2023
I don't know.
that this has been happening. At the end of 2022 as well. Really, like, in the last 12 months, we've seen a steady rise in really bad judging.
Do you think it's because the judges are getting older? Because I saw some, like...
Oh, you saw that old woman?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, no
offense. Are they
offense.
even watching the fucking fights?
They're probably, like, snoozing with their life alert or right around their neck. Like, come on. I don't know. I think they need to get younger with the judges.
Yeah, I saw Bilal Muhammad's comments on it. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. If Bilal Muhammad was in Kai Kara France's position, he would be like fucking going to he'd be writing his local senator talking about, yo, we got to stop the corruption.
Yeah.
Like that's but the thing is, even if you have live scoring, if the judging is bad,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So look at it like this, JL, right? Let's say if they said use live fan scoring.
That'd be fucking awful because then it would just be the more popular fighter that wins.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't work.
But the thing is, like, even if they did live scoring, right?
Ronda Rousey would still be in UFC.
Let's say one of the judge that gave round 4 to Albazi when Albazi did nothing but get beat up. What good does it do to tell the guy who was whooping his ass that he didn't win the round?
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I just don't know. That was one of the absolute worst scorecards I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There was one judge that had turned in a bad scorecard, but the right person still won. There were too many split decisions that were very clear cut. This guy was the winner. 2 rounds to 1, 3 rounds to 2, 4 rounds to 1, somewhere in that range. That was very, very frustrating to watch as a fight fan. And the thing is that you are talking about Kai Kara-France, who at age 30, he's not going to get a lot of opportunities to get chances at the title.
No.
And now he's got this loss in his record where he lost as the number 3rd ranked fighter in the 125 division.
Yeah.
And then, flyweight. He was number 3 at flyweight. He lost to the number 7 guy. So that's got to bump you 2 or 3 spots back when you whooped his ass.
Yeah. And then he was the guy who won was trying to say.
And if he ever is going to get a chance at the title, it's going to take him 3 or 4 fights to get a title shot instead of the 1 or 2 that he really should need.
Yeah, that's true.
That was really messed up, man. And this too, right? Kai getting screwed out of his because they do show win.
Yeah.
So you get half when you make weight, and you go into the cage. Right? You get the other half if you win. So if the judges fuck you in the ass, they're also stealing half your paycheck.
That fucking sucks.
I don't know what he actually can do in court, but the thing is, man, Exhibit A. Because the thing is, if Chris Lee would have turned in the fight card that the card, if he'd have turned in the card that he was supposed to turn in. It would have been really fucked up, but Kara-France would have gotten the split decision win. It should have been unanimous 49-46. At worst, 48-47. So, yeah, that was really, really disgusting. Definitely one of the worst robberies I've ever seen watching MMA. Definitely, that was really messed up. Anyway... so Cap has been here the last few days. It was his first time visiting. In fact, it was the first time that you actually met the ladies in person.
Yeah, I mean it was nice.
Yeah,
we had a good time, man.
I mean, because you've always vouched for me that I have more than one woman, right? But you never actually looked them in the eye.
Dude, right? I can confirm they're not CGI. So for sure.
Yeah, people say that JD's Mustang is just CGI. I know.
Really?
People are saying that. What? JD haters.
Oh, okay.
But actually, when I parked my Beamer at his house, I parked it in front of his gray Mustang.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
So, original yellow. Good to see you. It's been a while. Good to see you. Great. Good to see you. It's very, very interesting, and it's just messed up with what they did to Kai. But there were a lot of other fights. Were there some fights that you enjoyed watching?
Definitely not the first one.
Definitely not. That was horrible.
That was horrible. It was just a bunch of grab ass malarkey. But there was a couple.
And then Malarkey got knocked out.
Yeah.
He got knocked out.
The fuck out. That one was fun. That short fight, that's the type of violence I want in my life. Yeah, that was crazy.
Not in your life.
No, in other people's lives.
But in other people's lives, where they've got cameras on them.
Exactly. In a ring. Sanctioned match.
Yeah, sanctioned.
You know what would be great is if the judges marked him as if he lost. Oh well, he knocked him out, but he was still there. Like that was
the judges are like, we want to weigh in on this. Dude, no, it was a finish. It was a finish.
Just imagine though, that would be fan voting, right? Someone gets knocked the fuck out, and they still win. That's what would be the worst thing with fan voting.
Yo, son, if John Jones got knocked out,
yeah,
and you had fan voting, they would still say he won.
Exactly. So yeah, well, his jaw really held together there well, and yeah, he was just taking a nap real quick.
Yeah. He was just a little tired from being so great.
Yeah, jet lag. So, but man, now we had a lot of fun. We made a lot of content, and
the ladies treat you good.
Yeah, treated me real good. Good food.
Yep.
You know,
some editing help. You know, you also delivered some knowledge as far as like editing.
Yeah, definitely. Put some knowledge and did a few videos while I was here.
Yeah. He was supposed to be doing a live stream. He quit the live stream to go make videos. And it was crazy. Like he did his videos on his channel from my office right here.
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go make this video." And then 11.6 seconds later, I can hear him talking in the microphone. I was like, "Yo, he's not fucking around."
No, man. Shit.
Yeah. So I'm just like, damn. You know, you've been really cool, man. We had a lot of fun. You know, there were some fat jokes. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple of fat jokes.
And you're a special something I can't say on a bag of sticks I can't say on stream.
Yeah, you know.
Even though I've lost weight in the last month, suck a dick. But,
and didn't you just kind of call me that without actually calling me that by telling me
yeah.
Okay.
I mean.
But anyway, it was a lot of fun. We went drop top driving, then we picked up my first lady, Mrs. Evil, from the airport. That was fun because the thing is, like, one of the reasons why we did not do this episode earlier
we wanted to
is because we knew that if the notification went out,
she would have saw it.
And then she would have saw that you were here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like you did the 5.5 hour drive over here.
Yep.
We're hoping that we can do more content like this. We want to do like the Genius Take the Wheel.
Yep.
On my channel that hasn't had any content uploaded to it in like 10 weeks.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, Dr. Evil Genius is like.
Okay.
I mean, I've been wanting to like get on the play. I have not really touched my PlayStation 5.
Huh? Why?
Because you hate yourself? Man. No, just kind of like sometimes like I'm so mentally tired trying to make content, trying to look up content, looking after my clients, family stuff, all the bullshit. Sometimes I just want to just have YouTube videos watch me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes just like.
I mean, the good thing is like when we like literally in the span of a few hours made a lot of fucking content.
It was like an hour and a half. We banged out like 7 videos, back to back.
Because it's so much easier to record in person.
But also, it's kind of like there's a different
dynamic.
There's a different spirit to it. So one of the things that like he kind of floated is taking the train this time, so he's not paying like $200 in parking.
Yeah.
He wants to make it where he comes down here, and then we can do other fun stuff too.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I've got more baseball tickets, obviously, the season ticket package, and you know, we are looking forward to bringing a lot more content. We have, I think, 7 videos that we recorded today.
Correct.
So if you see us wearing the same hat and the same shirt. Well, that's what he does anyway, all the time anyway. But when you see me wearing the same hat and the same shirt, it's because we just sat here and banged out videos.
Yeah, man. No, it was fun, bro.
Yeah, that was fucking... This is a fun... Yo, everything that we wanted it to be, that's what it was.
It was fun, man.
Yeah, this was fucking fun, man. So, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, man.
That's it, man.
Is that it?
That's pretty much it.
We talked about the UFC thing.
We did.
Real quick. Your recovery from the hip surgery.
It's been good. It's slow. It's a little bit painful. Like I'm not cleared to get back on the ice or jog until July. But I mean, it's slow, but it's improving. Like,
and you might be back in July.
Yeah.
You might be back. And so one of the things when I was working with JD on Friday, this guy tagged along, and he got to work on some of the things that he needed to work on, and I was able to make a couple of alterations and corrections to your movement patterns that you already felt more stable right off the bat.
Right off the rip.
So if you're able to make it here once a month, we can get, more of that stuff. You actually bring your stretch bands this time.
This
so
time.
You can do
I left them on the
physical
fucking
therapy.
kitchen table.
I'm pretty sure that when your lady looked at them and saw them there, she laughed.
She
and
texted
then,
me. She's like, you forgot something, LOL.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know she looked at that shit and laughed.
So.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, you might be wondering, well, if you look on the channel, you saw that there's episode 75 and then episode 77. Well, what happened to episode 76? Well,
I got a little too spicy, sorry.
Yeah, we told too much truth.
Yeah.
Because I think we said that women are women and men are men. I think that's what we said, right?
Oh my God, how dare you?
Yeah.
I mean, how dare me?
So we had to immediately pull that down upon conclusion of the stream. Like, as soon as we ended broadcast, we had to delete the broadcast.
Yeah.
But before we did that,
we downloaded it.
And then uploaded it to Patreon for everybody. That one is for everybody that subscribes to our Patreon. That link is down in the description below. It would be great. We're gonna start notating everybody's names at the end of videos that are subscribed to the Patreon. Start shouting out our Patreon people.
Sweet.
Yeah, I definitely want to make sure that gets done because you guys, that support, we really are very thankful. We had like 6 super chats
last night.
Yeah, for the MMA.
That was dope.
Live stream. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you for supporting the platform, especially since it's been very difficult trying to create content over the last month. We will be probably covering the prelims, the early prelims and the prelims of UFC 289. We will not cover the main card because it sucks.
Yeah.
It is not worth $80. Like, it's a good fight night if it was just on ESPN Plus. But for pay-per-view, no. I don't care about Irene Aldana, and I don't care about the wannabe man that she's going to be fighting either. So,
well, make sure to hit that like, that comment down below, and subscribe. Hit the bell as well. That's how we pay our bills. I mean, that's pretty much...
I wish that was the truth.
I mean, we pay
our bills with actual real work.
We actually pay our channel with our job.
Oh yeah, we pay to bring you guys content.
Yeah.
So to help make sure that we can continue to advance. Doing this in person stuff costs money too.
Yeah, because that's gonna be expensive.
So we're not begging, but we are thankful for the support that we get on this platform. If you're not watching on YouTube, please watch on YouTube so we can get all of the metrics and stuff and some AdSense.
Absolutely.
All right. YouTube.com/@TALKINSHIT. Again, the Patreon is there. That link is in the description. You can just click it. And, again, you don't have to spend money to support us. The like button, the share button, and the subscription button, they work well and they are free. And you can cancel at any time.
Exactly.
Anyway, we up out of here.
Later.